Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. If you are new here, this is a reaction channel. If you like drama, if you like tea, heck, if you just like to hear somebody else's story, maybe it can help you. Or maybe you just want to hear it. You guys, subscribe to this channel and join the family. If you are returning, you already know how we like to do it. Let's get straight into today's reaction video.
So I decided to just go ahead and do a story time and tell you guys the story of why I am getting a divorce. Okay, so I have been with this man for, this would have been the 8th year. So this now during this 8-year span, I have dealt with abuse, physical and verbal, emotional, everything you can think of. I have dealt with cheating. I have dealt with lying. I have dealt with his family being disrespectful. I've dealt with his children being disrespectful. I have dealt with so much stuff. And I know what you're thinking. I should have been left. It should have took 8 years. I totally agree. Now within those 8 years, I had 3 children with him. I already had 2, but I had 3 with him. I also had lost a parent, I lost a brother, and one of my brothers got incarcerated. So I had a lot of mental anguish during the 8 years. So I felt like, and this is why you have to be careful to not confuse trauma bonding with love. It's not love. Sometimes you are just trauma bonded to people because you go through shit while you're with them and they're just coincidentally there, not necessarily being there for you, but they're just in the space. You catch my drift? So during all of this stuff, around 2023, December 2023, I had found out that he was having an affair with a young lady, old lady, 40-something grandmother, literally a bitch got grandkids. I found out he was having an affair with her, that they worked together. So once I found out about the affair, it was like, the lady just kept coming up. Like, I tried to forgive him, tried to move on, but the lady just kept coming up. Like, they were still talking, they were still texting. So I just, kind of mentally clicked out of the relationship at that time. So 2024, I had decided, like, I want to get a divorce. Like, I'm over this, I want to get a divorce. So fast forward 2024, I'm not staying at the house. I'm staying with my sister, staying with my mom. Like, I'm barely coming home. Like, I'm into it with this man so motherfucking hard. Like, I'm not fucking with him. So I was in that's when I began nursing school. So damn, bitch, you gonna run into the motherfucking back of me? You not even watching what the fuck you doing. My bad. So I really wasn't at home like that. So he was like telling me, like, can we please just work it out? Like, can we please just work it out? So I remember I ended up just like, you know what, okay, I'm gonna stay with him until I hate him. I told myself that because I said, you know what, when I leave, I want to be like completely done. And at the time, like, I was just so mentally drained and fucked up that I just was like, I'm gonna stay with this nigga until I hate his fucking guts. And that's what I did. I stayed until I hated his ass. But I would continuously tell him, like, if we stay together, it's not gonna work. Like, it's not gonna work because, I'm not happy. Clearly you're not happy. This shit just not gonna work. So I remember, like, I will always tell him that. And it was like 2025, his son came to live with us. Now his son came to live with us, and that is when shit started hitting the fan, because his son came with a plethora of issues. So when the son came to live with us, the son was stealing from me. He was lying. He was putting his hands on my kids. Like him and my kids will be fighting. So it was just like so much bullshit going on with having his son. And it was like he was like defending his son's behavior instead of correcting his son's behavior. So that really just sealed the deal for me. It was like, you know, I would tell him something and he would undermine me and try to make it seem like, oh, I'm just picking on his son, when in actuality his son was just doing shit. His son was just doing badass shit, and he just was being a poor piss ass parent, in my opinion. So December of 2025, I decided that when I started putting my money up and saving my money, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna save up some money, and then when I get my income taxes, I'm gonna pay up my bills for a couple months, so that way I have a cushion and I'm able to kind of you know, be okay without him, like get him to not have to help me with bills, because that was the way that he always stayed in the house, was because it was like he would be like, you know, helping with bills. So just so happened he loses his job in January. So for a month he's sitting in the house not doing nothing. He's playing a game. He's not trying to go make no extra money. He's not doing shit. And on top of that, he's being disrespectful. So like he's disrespecting me. We're like arguing all the time. It's to the point we can't go 48 hours without an argument. I'm over it at this point. So at this point, I'm done with it. I'm over it. I'm like, you know what? Next month, I'm done. So the next month rolls around, and I just told him I want a divorce. Like, I want a divorce. I don't want to do this no more. I'm straight. So I guess he thought I was not serious. So I filed divorce, and I also filed for a PPO for my protection, because, you know, you've threatened me, you've done crazy stuff, so I don't know what type of time you're on. So let me protect myself in case I have to defend myself. So eventually he ends up moving out the house. But, you know, his son was still living with me. He left his son with me. So the son was still living with me because he had nowhere to take the son. So fast forward, I just recently sent the son back to his mother. So this is like a situation that is ongoing. It's still going on. So you know, that's...
Wait a minute. How you got a child living there? You move out but leave your child there when it been a whole bunch of issues with your child being in the house. What type of parent leave their child behind? And where was he able to go but his child couldn't go? I'm confused, but let's digress.
You know, that's why I'm getting a divorce, because, you know, his family didn't respect me. I had issues with his siblings. I had issues with the way that he handled his family. He was the type of person, he did not speak up. So like when stuff would happen, it was like he would allow people to disrespect me, and then he would turn around and to try to get in my good graces, try to be like, oh, I'm not playing about you, but you've let this person disrespect me multiple times, and you've not, you know, really done anything. And I noticed like he would be the type of person to break his neck for his family, but when it came to me, he was so quick to disrespect me and degrade me. Like, he was so quick to disrespect me. So it was like, you know, I just started seeing stuff like that. And then like with his friends, it was like, you're not a good friend. Like I look at everything like that people do, and I'm like, you're not a good friend, you're not loyal, you're not, you know, you're hanging out with people that you're talking shit about. Like, you're literally talking shit about these people, but you running behind them. Anytime me and you have an issue, you're running behind these people. So it was like stuff like that. Like, I want a man who is a leader, who can think for himself, that can make good decisions, that can be a provider, a protector. I want those things, and I realize that I just don't want it from him. Not saying he is the worst person in the world, he's not, but he's not what I need, and he's not what I want, most importantly. So yeah, I put his ass out, and this has been the most peaceful 2 months of my life, and I love it. I hope that this continues to go on to 6, 8, 12, 10 years. I cannot fucking wait. So yeah, girl, that's why the fuck I put that nigga out. And another motherfucking thing, when you motherfuckers see me, stop asking me, oh, I thought you guys were happy. Bitch, I did too. Okay? Stop asking me that. I think that is very disrespectful. And it's very nosy to be asking me some stupid shit like that. If I'm getting a motherfucking divorce, bitch, obviously I wasn't motherfucking happy. Stop asking me that shit. And I feel like anybody that know me for real, y'all know what the fuck is up. Y'all know what the fuck was going on. So don't ask me no stupid shit. Okay?
Yeah, it get ridiculous when people be like, oh, I thought y'all was happy, when we all know, and if you don't know by now, you should know, that what goes on behind closed doors, everybody don't know. People see the outside picture and just think people just on cloud nine, happy. You're going to go through things and changes in your life, especially your relationship. So of course people on the outside going to think you happy because that's what y'all portraying. But in the inside, other shit can go on that none of us know about. But I digress with that too. But I'm still on him moving out and leaving his son behind that's not her child, knowing that she has been complaining about things that have been happening, you know, in that house with her son, with his son there. But what kind of parent leave their child in that type of environment? I'm confused. Even though she probably wouldn't do nothing to his son, but if you're leaving, take your child with you. So yeah, I commend her with calling the baby mama and giving him back to his mama and everything. And that's probably why his mother wanted him to come with his dad, because he needed a male figure to correct him on what needed to be correct on. I mean, why wouldn't you want a safe environment for all the children? Instead of just defending your son, you should have been creating a safe environment for all the kids, even him, and correcting him. That's pretty much why his mother probably sent him to you. But I mean, to each his own. Like, of course, in relationships, ups and downs, and you know, you're gonna get the arguing, disagreeing about things, and all of the things. But when it becomes too much and too toxic, it's best for both parties to separate. Because at the end of the day, we got to remember that we have children that are looking and watching. And just because we think they're kids, and like back in the day they said, stay in a child's place, we still see and hear things. And as children, we still saw and heard things that until this day bother us, or we think that it's okay because we saw it growing up when it was not okay. Just because your parents made a decision because they were your parents doesn't mean that it was the right decision. Doesn't mean that we have to teach our children to abide by those things that we were taught growing up. We could change our rules to make it our own, you know. But not only that, like, it does something to your health with both parties. Like, arguing, fussing, fighting, putting hands on each other, all that stuff eventually will help your health decline. You will begin to get sick, and you know, like, we got to take that type of stuff into consideration. We all want happiness, and sometimes happiness means not being with toxic stuff, not being in toxic stuff, and to move on. And I don't think it's okay to stay all the way up until you literally hate a person. Like, if y'all just colliding and bumping heads and y'all having all these disagreements, why not do it now when y'all can finally, you know, move on, sit down, have a conversation, and co-parent? Because that's what kids should get. They should get two parties, even though their parents are separating, they should get two parties that are willing to co-parent and willing to do this for the children. So I don't think it's okay to like wait all the way up until you hate a person. I don't think nobody should hate a person, but nevertheless, wait all the way up until that time comes to separate, because that's when things get even more complicated. Not for you. You will have peace and understanding, but your children will be the ones that will be stuck in a situation where they're confused about. And because they're not old enough to understand, they just going to think that they're losing both parents, or they losing a parent, and now their life is turned upside down, which it really is. But children don't register it like adults will. You know, you seem happy, but deep down your children don't have their father in the household, and because they grew up with their father in the household, now they just feel like, you know, everything is turned upside down, and now you got to get them counseling and all that stuff. So I think it's okay to separate for the, you know, health and well-being of your children, but please separate on better terms, on good terms, better terms, some type of terms where y'all can come to terms of just looking out for your children, making sure they got both parties in their life with no type of disruptions at all. So I commend her on moving on, and I hope that their parenting relationship is, you know, good for the children, and both of them can be happy separated, but at least they're co-parenting like parents should for the children. You guys, drop down in the comment section what you think about this story. Are you going through a situation like this? Did this help any with your situation? And also just give your opinion on her situation in the comment section. And if you're new here, subscribe, hype me up, and join the family. We would love to have you over here. If you're returning, y'all already know how we like to do it. Like, comment, hype me up. Come on, get me out there in the algorithm. Help more people come to my channel. Help more family members subscribe. Let's go. I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace.